call that radio. You call that radio TV. No. You call that radio TV.
This is You Call That Radio.
This is You Call That Radio TV. We're about to go live to Englandshire to speak to the Cool Greenhouse. Brilliant band. And buzzing to hear from them what it's like to have gigs again, because this is on the day that it was announced that, as it seems like, the devil will be in the detail, of course, but we're looking at that. But it looks like on August the 9th, which is this Monday, like gigs and clubs are just back like that. Surely not. Is that a real thing? That's what we're being told right now. And if that's the case, then we might put a gig on. Fuck it, eh? Might just put a gig on. Gyro Babies are playing a gig at Lindisfarne Festival. When is that? September the 2nd. So that was going to be the first real gig since December 2019 for us. I think we're on about 8 o'clock, so if anyone's got tickets for Lindisfarne, then make sure you're there the Thursday night. Also, Lindisfarne's kind of like it doesn't have a Sunday because it's a whole island, so you can't drink on a Sunday there. So Thursday's like the Friday. So we're booked for Thursday, 2nd of September. But if we can have gigs, then we might just do one in Glasgow in August as a wee warm-up. If anyone's interested, let me know in the comments. Who's tuned in anyway? We got some people. Hola, Kirstine Jackson in the house. Hello, Kirstine. Paul's in the house. Hello, Paul. And as you can see behind me, I have a lovely... It looks a wee bit like a Christmas tree because I had to crop it. But that is, I can assure you, it's not a Christmas tree. It's a cool greenhouse, hence the shades. And I think we could go live to Thomas of the Cool Greenhouse. How's it going, mate?
Hey, Mark, how's it going?
Good, mate. I'm just a wee bit surprised that we've just been told that we can have gigs again on Monday. Because, like, you know...
as usual, you're behind us. We've been having gigs for a couple of months now.
Yeah. And,
I think... We've done a few socially distanced ones.
Yeah, we just didn't have anything. Nothing
at
all.
I think you're more sensible. I love Scotland. I'm going to move up to Scotland soon. I'm Scottish, you know that?
I didn't know that.
I'm half Scottish. Graham. Graham's my real surname.
Right, okay. Whereabouts in Scotland?
Perth, down south. But
Perth, all right, yeah, I know
Perth.
Perth.
I like the Highlands better, you know. And the Islands, it's all good. Love the Scots. I'm going to move up there. I promise. I'll be there soon.
Well, you did say that in your track, London. You're either going to move to Glasgow or Margate, so we're on a par with Margate.
I mean, Glasgow's like really cheap and nice. You can get great flat for like not that much money, and you can put traffic cones on statues and stuff like that. But it's very far away, so I haven't made it there. I haven't made it there yet.
Have you not played Glasgow yet?
Nah, man, I really want to, and we should, and we will. We would definitely will, you know. But I think for this UK tour, we don't have a Glasgow date. It's just everything's been so uncertain and stuff, as you say. So slightly.
Well, it's been very uncertain. I mean, most of the venues in Glasgow haven't even opened up as pubs, and I think, you know, I think it was about 2 weeks ago we got the level 0 restrictions, which complicated. It's different from in England, different levels, which just confused a lot of things. Which I think means that you can have table service gigs, but it's strangely not many venues have done it. Room 2 have done a great job of doing stuff like that. I think the Icebox done a couple of things as well. But because of the size of the sort of smaller venues, Glasgow's is rich with lots of small venues from 80 right up to maybe 300 capacity. But the money doesn't really add up to put tables in there and put
I think
and most of the great bands, an actual band that's got distortion and drums and shit, table gigs doesn't really work for them.
Yeah, I know that the 2 distance shows that we did lost money for the promoter, so it's only people who have some money who can kind of do them.
Yeah,
and the first one was really fun though, because everyone was really excited to go, even though they had to sit down and they couldn't dance and all that. They were really excited. That was good.
The roar of the roar of the crowd was amazing to hear when I was at Room 2. just the thunderous applause. It felt thunderous.
Yeah.
I don't know if everyone was just a bit more enthusiastic than normal, or it's just the fact that I hadn't heard a proper crowd cheer in ages.
I think so. But we've got a load of shows up now, but even now the promoters are telling us they're not even selling that well. I think people are excited to go, but there's all this pinging stuff going on. So
the pandemic.
Yeah, the pingdemic. Yeah.
So all these new words that we've learned. I mean, imagine being in a coma for 18 months and then just waking up to this and going, the fucking what? The pandemic. Yeah, there is rumours though. I don't know that it might be the pandemic's something to do with Brexit.
There was a guy who went into the forest for a year. I read an article about him. He like decided to do like an exile for a year in the forest, and then he just came back and he was like, "What the fuck is going on?" I bet all the hermits up in the Highlands are, they just don't bloody know. It's oblivious.
There was a few house parties that went on for a couple of weeks that just sort of went to the shop one day and the shops were shut and going, what's going on? We've got I'll read some comments out. We've got a Glasgow Gyro baby's gig, yeehaw. It can happen, it might happen. I mean, it looks like right now, the problem is that some venues haven't even opened yet, and also most of the venues that are open have got like a backlog of gigs from March 2020 to get through.
Can I do some backing vocals, Mark?
Yes. We need backing vocals because I've got a drummer who's the best singer in the band, but he doesn't believe in doing backing vocals. He's like, I'm no Phil Collins. You either play the drums or you don't play the drums. So I can always do a bit of back.
Play the tambourine.
More than happy to be guinea pig for the Gyros Lindisfarne warm up. Yes, you're hired. Kirstein's up for a jack. You know we have the venue, says Ian Diamond. I've actually messaged
I know Kirstein. I want to say hi to Kirstein because I think she runs quite a lot of our fan club stuff. So I'm very grateful to Kirstein. I haven't met her before.
Shout outs to Kirstein and Lucia as well. It was actually Lucia who told me to get this happening.
Yeah,
which was obliged to do. I'm more than happy to do because I've been listening to your tunes for ages now, man. So it's a great album. I've got your album already. And then I love the Alexa tune as well.
Did you buy it on vinyl, the album?
Or you can just say, hello, Google, or Alexa, play Alexa. Well, we'll maybe play that later on because I think these are the first people to use that. And I can imagine it confusing all the various robots that live in houses now. What to do.
We spent a lot of time mixing it. It should set your alarm for 3 a.m. If there's if you've got an Alexa in your room, it should do that. But depends how far away it is and how loud it is. But it can do that. So that's great.
It has been proven to work.
Yeah, it does work.
So for people that don't know, they've got a song called Alexa, which I'll play in a wee bit. And it says, Alexa, please set the alarm for 3 a.m. or what's to this effect. So that's good to know. We've got Spat Jordan in the house. We've got Ali Grant in the house. Ian Diamond, I know you've got a venue. I've already messaged Jamie. We're maybe going to do something at the Icebox. And to be honest, there's still not been any comprehensive advice from Scottish Government yet. So venues and festivals are still left waiting. Sadly, most of the Scottish festivals stop in August. So I think there's maybe, correct me if I'm wrong, I think there's only 2 festivals left that might go ahead, even though they're allowed to go ahead. They need to apply for the license now. And I think it takes about 4 weeks to get away with it. So maybe Playground Festival and maybe Transmit, but Transmit's a bit more commercial. It's a bit not really the festival that I would like to go to. It's a bit young. I'm a bit too old for Transmit. And Transmit's a really unfortunate name to be the first festival in a pandemic to go ahead in Scotland. We've got Rebecca Radical in the house. We've got Claire Groves in the house.
A lot of people in the house.
They're all, it's a bit, all socially distanced, of course. Sharon says, oh my Lord, Mark, I'm sitting in a mad garden in Brechin. What the hell, love to use both. Me and Cam were blethering to Liverpool couple for ages. Fake the mask. Fuck Google, she also says. Hope to meet you soon, says Kirsten.
I'll meet you soon, Kirsten. You can have some free stuff. She done a lot of work for us, I think, for free.
What's the capacity of Icebox out with COVID? I think it's about, Diamond's tuned in. He knows he's a sound engineer there. I think it's about 150, if not everything's normal. And I think that there's a gig coming up with Joe D'Arc and Becky Wallace, but they were doing a seated gig because they weren't sure of the regulations. So I think they're limited to 50 with chairs and social distancing. Solus, Playground, Transmit, Jupiter Rising, technically 200 cap, but that's tight. Well, I asked the Fairy Play owner of this B&B if I could sit outside and have a cider. He said yes. Cheers, Tom. Mind nae pyramids. That's a good thing to talk about. Actually, you did a thing called the pyramid scheme.
Ah, you done your research.
Well, I've been in your group for ages, and I remember the pyramid scheme. I thought it was a great new way of doing things. So, could you explain what the pyramid scheme is?
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it was a great new way of doing things. It might be better for poetry or like written stuff, but basically, what it was, the first thing I ever put out as the Cool Greenhouse. I made one copy of it, but then it had instruction. So the kind of artwork was instructions to make 2 more copies and give them to your friends. And then they had also the instruction. So it's just like a CDR. Yeah. We were a bit behind because people don't have CDRs anymore. But when I was a kid, you could write CDs. I used to do that all the time. So I didn't realize it was like a bit old fashioned. But yeah, we made one CD, and the cover for the CD is instructions to make 2 more CDs and then send them out with the instructions.
So it's just encouraging a bit of piracy, but it's your own music, so it's okay.
Yeah, pirating our own music. But it's like a free kind of global distribution system. It got quite far, but I had to bug a few people. But then we did another one with the fan. So we got a little Facebook fan group who I love, and we've done the Pyramid Scheme 2. I don't know. But this one, I decided not to have anything to do with it. But I think Kirstine has been trying to make it work. You know, it's a bit awkward, but
Martin Ray says, "Don't mention the pyramid scheme."
Hey, Martin. I know Martin too. These are like our good fans. You know, I know these guys.
These are people that they're just such good fans of the underground music scene in general.
Yeah, man.
They pop up. Yeah. They pop up when you know that there's a good band on when they pop up. Yeah. So I'm very familiar with these guys as well.
Them. Yeah, I think they started that Facebook group, and that's a big deal. If you're in a band and then there's another Facebook group that you didn't even set up that is like for your band, you're like, wow, that's nice.
It's amazing, really, and also
means a lot. Also, it feels good.
It's also just a good way of getting your message out there as groups, because pages themselves have very little traction these days.
Do you reckon? I don't know about that stuff. I think we're going to get off the internet at some point. Take it back to letters.
Take it back to the streets.
We'll do this interview again, but we've got to do it through like the Royal Mail.
Yeah. Pen pals.
Yeah,
pen pals. Spat Jordan sent 2 CDs off, so well done.
There you go. So Jordan would have got 1 CD and it had the instructions, make 2 more and send them off to these other guys. You know, and it makes everyone talk to each other and have a good time, and there's no money involved, and so that's fun. But yeah, it's hard work. You know, people are busy and blah blah blah. You have to have a printer, a CD writer, which not many people have anymore, and you have to have like enough motivation, not be too depressed. Which is hard. So
finding that motivation is difficult in these
Martin, I'm going to ask out to Martin and Kirstine, and who's the other guy I've got? But
we've got credit Martin and Pat.
Pat, there we go. Yeah, Pat, of course. And Martin's into UFOs as well. I've talked to him a bit about UFOs because that's my second passion, or maybe that's my first passion. But what did you think of the music on the second Pyramid Scheme? Out to Martin, Patrick, and Kirstine.
Yes, we'd like to know what you think of the music in the second Pyramid Scheme. And while you're replying to that, we're going to ask you, Call That Radio, what you make of the music. What we picked 2 videos. Are we going for the sticks first?
Yeah, let's do the sticks. Okay, so this was I kind of ripped off the guy who made this. It was 300 quid budget, and he did an amazing job. He got a bit cross with us because we didn't pay him more. But I mean, we said we were only going to give him 300 quid, but he did a great job. It's a really great video. Yeah, I love him lots. It's called Simon. And if I ever make any money, I'll give him some more money for it. But I don't have any money, you know. Okay, let's play the sticks.
But you can go a bit nuts out here. Spending all day looking for your cigarettes or your glasses, or plugged into high-minded conspiracy theories about all the camera-playing cats, trained by the government and uploaded by devious civil servants to subdue your mind. I guess that's why people say that musical pets are the new opiates of the masses. But just don't forget, nobody actually says that. And it's true, the true oddballs are stationed in the market towns, and all you meet are ex-military personnel with dark browsing histories, or children's entertainers with questionable intentions. And all the village shops are definitely manned by robots. So is this the kind of catharsis you are after? Strange shapes appear in the mirror when you're not there, and you can hear people's skin crack at regular intervals, or when the sun comes out. They've got your number, they'll be seeing you. Better stay in from here on in. And sometimes when you close your eyes, well, there's grinning Jimmy Saviles painted on your inner eyelids. Other times it's Yoko Ono's on treadmills, stretching out into infinity. But there's Kermit the Frog doing up his flies on the beach, on repeats. These things all reinforce the need for a proper occupation. Fine clipped toenails are still growing near the basin. A little camera in the shape of a bit of eggshell in the bread bin. Surveillance wires disguised as bits of spaghetti down the side of the oven. Looks like the cleaning's not working. And today the birds are flying unusually low to the ground, and the insects are flying unusually close to the clouds. There's all sorts of inversions that you need to get your head around. Clerical workers are lurking in the long grass with remote controls, dog shit bags and their sons. And God only knows what they've been feeding the ducks. And God only knows what they've been feeding the ducks. And God only knows what they've been feeding the ducks. Make some elderflower wine or some sourdough, but that's the kind of thing you're meant to do around here. Wrap it up in old brown paper and you can sell it for a fortune to other city weekenders. If only you didn't have the weird feeling that your arm is not your arm. That your arm is not your arm. And the strange plants growing in the outcrop near the village have been plagiarizing your dreams. When everything's conducted in hushed tones in a market town.
This is You Call That Radio TV. We're live with Thomas of the Cool Greenhouse, and we just watched the Sticks there. What a tune, and what a video, worth every penny of the 300 quid.
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Good, man. Good.
Did you enjoy that? Have you seen it before?
I've seen it before. I've been binging on the Cool Greenhouse for the last week. And like I said, I've been aware of your tunes for much longer than that as well. And I've been a member of the group, the Pyramid Scheme. I remember the Pyramid Scheme.
Have you got one yet?
No, I never worked. It didn't work for me.
Have a go at Kirstine for that.
Do you know what? Actually, if I remember rightly, someone tried to send me one, but it went into my spam folder, and I found it about 6 months later.
Oh no, but it's meant to be physical. It's meant to be like a CD.
Yeah, no, but I think someone sent me a private message to send me an address.
Oh,
I
they
think
were
I
like, hey, man. Oh, okay. They were like, hey, man, I've got to send it to you.
I'm going to send you this. What's your address? And I didn't get it till about 6 months later.
It's meant to be chaos. Like, that's a good thing. If you get one,
Yeah.
you're lucky. If you don't get one, well, you're unlucky. But there you go.
I ruined it. We've got Rebecca Radical saying that she's digging this. Kirstine's going to send me one. Amazing. I'd love to hear it.
I don't know. I think that's breaking the rules, Kirstine. I think you've got to get it from the other person who you're meant to get it from.
Well,
Nah,
I don't mind breaking the rules a wee bit. I don't mind.
Yeah, Mark, you can have one.
Right, amazing.
I don't think it's very good though.
Sharon says brilliant. Sounds like Landyard, who I love. Landyard. Is that Lanyard or Land? Yeah, Lanyard.
I don't know lanyard, but I like the word lanyard.
Lanyard, we'll check out, but I'm not. So it was your fault the pyramid broke down. Well, that's why I didn't want to say it. I was like, I think that the whole thing was working fine until I got involved, but it wasn't my fault. I got a message in my spam folder. It sounds like a pure bullshit excuse, but it's a real thing. Rules are meant to be broken, correct? And also, fantastic. I've been into existentialism, absurdism since my teens. Spot on. Would you consider your music that?
Yeah. Spot on.
What got you? We got you. How long's the band been going about for? You're relatively new, is that right? Or you've been doing it for ages?
Well, it's an interesting question. So, I started the Cool Greenhouse project in late 2016, but I did the first Pyramid Scheme at the beginning of 2017, and then we didn't come a band until 2019. Like, nobody paid any attention until 2019. So I guess we're kind of new because we started doing gigs and then we had to cut off and go home as everyone did. And then now it's 2021. But yeah, we were like, I don't know, 3 or 4 months into being a proper band. We recorded this album. But those songs have been kind of gelling since like 2016. But I did do it on my own for a bit, like Sleaford Mods kind of vibe, just me with the laptop. But it was too scary and it wasn't as good. And now we have a band and we're really good. I don't mind saying that because I think we are actually.
No, it's quite right. Be honest about it. I agree with that. Which is obviously we Gyro Babies.
Well, my girlfriend's very honest.
Band members.
My girlfriend's very honest, and if we do a bad show, she'll be like, "That was 2 out of 5." But the most recent shows, she's been like, "That's 10 out of 5." I totally trust her. Like, she wouldn't lie to me. And then other people coming up to us being like, "I didn't think your music would work live, and it does, and I like it." So I'm glad that we're a live band. I didn't expect us to be a live band. To be honest, I'm more interested in like making the songs and doing the recording stuff. But now I'm getting into the live thing. It's
what was the live session? You've got a really good live session out there. It was really well recorded and filmed and stuff like that.
The Eurosonic one, is that
Eurosonic? That's the one, yeah.
Yeah, and I think we're going to do another one at Green Man. But those were always much more restrained because they get the sound really like clear and stuff. But I think seeing us loud at a festival is a bit more fun.
Did you just play Latitude recently?
We did, yeah, we did. And that
what was that like? Was that just like the first real festival post lockdown?
Yeah, so everyone had to have a negative COVID test, and that was all a bit of a headache. And you had to upload it to like this website and stuff. But so everyone who was there was negative for COVID. So it was kind of, they did it as normal, but once you got in, and Yeah, I don't know, man. I hadn't even been to a festival, let alone played a festival. That's crazy, right? I'm 31.
That is
and
crazy.
Well, I've been
Are
to
you
Doing the
are you
Rabbit Hole,
15?
Doing the
Are you
Rabbit Hole,
15
big
years
up.
old?
Yeah. But I haven't been to a big one. But have you been to? Do you know Doing the Rabbit Hole in where is it? It's
I do
like,
indeed. I do indeed know down the rabbit hole.
my old
Very
band
well.
played there, but that's like a small festival. But as far as like
It's
a
not.
big,
I mean, it's not. It's a nice size now. It started off as a small festival.
yeah.
We've been about. I've been about 9. I think I've been 10 down the rabbit holes. I think I've been to 9 of them and played.
Yeah, this was a while ago. This was like my old band.
All right. Yeah.
And it was definitely small. Like, you know, this big one, they had like Latitude, they had like Chemical Brothers and Supergrass. That was fun. Supergrass was good. But you know,
Supergrass was
I haven't been to a big festival where you've got like international.
What year did you play down the rabbit hole?
Fuck, man. Maybe 2015.
Yeah. Okay. It was still finding its feet then.
Yeah.
It's a shame for Doon because they worked really hard to get it to the point where, you know, that this one that was supposed to be next week with Dizzy Rascal, Sleaford Mods, a whole bunch of big acts.
Oh wow, they're doing that. They're doing the Rabbit Hole now.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah. When I went, there was no like massive.
There's
names,
nothing like that.
No way, no way. Yeah, it was like a couple of small stages.
Yeah,
It was fun.
last year was when 2019 was the first time that I think Doon just absolutely smashed out the park. There was big,
Uh-huh.
there was a big stage with big names on it, lots of great underground acts as well, and it just the lineup for the 2020 one that didn't happen was brilliant, and then they rescheduled it and then had to reschedule it again, and sadly, I mean, there's people complaining today because of the announcement. They're like, Doon could have went ahead if they'd held off for a couple of days, but it's not as simple as that because you've got to get the license approved about a month in advance. So for anyone that's a bit confused about that, so even though you can't get your license approved if you don't know what the regulations are going to be, so sadly it's it couldn't happen for Doon this year, which is a shame. Claire Groves says, "I think you're bloody brilliant."
I think she's talking about you, Mark.
No, I think she's talking about you.
I think she's talking about you.
Says like, sounds like your girlfriend knows her stuff as well. We've
She
also
bloody
got,
does. Oh man.
got Colette. Hi folks, Baby Doll tuned in. Keep safe, boys. Hello, Sugar Cube, aka Baby Doll. I hope you're well and keeping it real in the garden. Down the rabbit hole is fab. Sad it's not happening this year. It's an absolute gutter. Absolutely gutting. Beak played 2 years ago. Tremendous. That's right. Beak were fantastic as well. I was there.
Yes, I think you could work it out when we played my old band because I think the headliners were Deerhoof, who are amazing. But you know, they're not like as big as Dizzy Rascal, you know. So I think the main event was Deerhoof that year. Maybe it was like 2015, 2016.
Let's find out. Let's just find out. Eh?
I like the smaller festivals anyway. I thought.
Yeah, I think you just want it to be. Yeah, okay. So it was 2015. You're right. It was.
There we go.
Yeah, you were bang on. Maxi Roots played. Sugar Nifty, the Phantom Band, then Beatles, Father Son, the John Langan Band, Colonel Mustard, the Dijon 5. And,
I saw the X. Do you know the band the X? EX. They're amazing. They blew me away. That was the highlight of that.
I feel like I do know what I'm just trying to picture the X.
They're not that popular, but they've been slogging on for like 30 odd years. You know, they were an original punk band, and they've just been doing interesting stuff for like a long time. Yeah, there you go. But Latitude was great. We saw the Sleaford Mods. They were amazing. I was on mushrooms at the time. I had a kind of religious experience with the Sleaford Mods. Never seen them before. They were fucking incredible. And then met John Cooper Clarke. That was really amazing. You know, that will stay with me forever. So
amazing.
They were great things, and our set went well. But in general, it was a lot of like GCSE people, teenagers who just finished their exams. And I don't think I like camping. I like camping if you go camping, like if that's the main thing you're doing, like camp by a river in the forest and like cook some bacon and stuff. That's good. But you know, there's just a lot of wankers at festivals, aren't there? I wouldn't have paid 200 quid to go if I wasn't playing.
Yeah. But it's the Sleaford Mods. Who else? Sleaford. Oh, John Cooper Clarke, actually. We've got a wee sting that John Cooper Clarke did for us, if I can find it. Where is it? Just a quick thing.
He was so nice. I owed my friend like backdated council tax from about 12 years ago. And I was like, if I can get you John Cooper Clarke's signature, can you write off my debt? He was like, yeah. So I ran across the stage and like went into his dressing room. He was like, what are you doing here? And I was like, explain the situation. And I was like, can you sign this? And all I had was a chip fork, like, for eating these overpriced chips at the festival. I was like, John, I'm sorry, I owe this guy 200 quid, but he says, if you sign this chip fork, he'll like write off my debt because he loves you and I love you too. And he was like, of course I'll do that. And he gave me a handshake, and I didn't say who I was or anything.
How much did they charge you for the signature?
No, nothing.
Did they not want to cut? This is John. This is what happened when I met John Cooper Clarke.
He's just a lovely guy.
Dr. John Cooper Clarke, do you call that radio?
Yeah, so that was it was a bit. I had to go in after. So basically, I was doing Eden. I was in a spoken word set, and they said, "Do you want to go on?" John Cooper Clarke's playing. Of course. I think my band was playing the day before or something. So I was like, I would be an honour. When do you want to go on? I was like, well, as close to John Cooper Clarke as you can get, and ended up headlining after John Cooper Clarke because John Cooper Clarke. It was not great. It's not great. You don't want to go in after John Cooper Clarke. I meant like I'd like to go in before, the last one before John Cooper Clarke. But it was a difficult set. I mean, it didn't go very well. John Cooper Clarke's.
Listen to a band, man. Send me. I forgot what are they called again. Baby Gyro.
Well, you've got Gyro Babies or Jackal Trades. Gyro Babies is the sort of. It's a more guitar band. Jackal Trades is more electro stuff. But yeah, it was nice to meet him. And he just, I wish I had recorded it earlier because when I went, he goes, "What's it called?" And I was like, "You call that radio?" And he goes, "It's an excellent name for a podcast." And then I hit record just after that. But yeah, big ups John Cooper Clarke, man. I think that I think you need to see him live for people to get what he's doing. He's just so funny, man. It's funny as any stand-up comedian you get.
Stitches, we went to see him, and like he's what 70 odd, 74 or something. We went to see him. Just to see him before he died. I mean, he might go on longer than me. I don't know. For some reason, Iggy Pop, John Cooper Clarke, they're just like, they'll live forever. And Bob Dylan. But yeah, I just wanted to see him. But he was hilarious. He was so funny. Yeah, we were just in stitches.
It's hard to explain what it is he does, but I don't want to like butcher any of his material. But I remember one that had me in knots was the Grange Hill Don't Do Drugs campaign. It's like, people say that was cheesy and it was corny and it didn't stop anyone doing drugs. But that's the thing about prevention, drug prevention or anything prevention is maybe things would have been far, far worse without that Grange Hill song. How do you know? How do you quantify it? Maybe things would have been far, far worse. Kirstein's asking if you'd like to join the Smarmy. Are you a member of the Smarmy?
I am. Well, does that just mean am I in the Facebook group?
I think so. I'm in
the Facebook group.
Play Equinox, Mark. No, I'm not going to play any more tunes. That's for another day. I'm sure Thomas could do that in his own time. Jordan's asking, any plans for a gig at JT Soar's Knots in the future?
100%. Yeah, 100%. We'll do a lot there. It's a really small room, as you probably know. So when I was talking to Phil, who runs it, who's also our producer, and he's an amazing man, just like lovely guy. And if you live in Nottingham, he'll be your friend. Go and like hang out with him. He's great. And JT Soar is like so good. Like part of the reason our album is good is because JT and Phil are so good. But yeah, it's like a really small room, and we were thinking like if we played there, we would do like 3 sets in a row and try and film them, because only like under COVID, I think only 10 people could get in or something, because it's like maybe 80 capacity.
So you need to charge everyone £100 a ticket?
No, we just do it for free, and then but do 3 sets, because it feels like home, because we recorded there. We've spent, so for the first record we spent just 2 weeks living there, and then for the second record we spent the same. So and Phil's just a lovely man, one of my best friends, I would say, and doing great things. So yeah, we'll definitely 100% play there. It's annoying that the Sleep of Mods also do. We have these press shots that we wanted to release, but then the Sleep of Mods also took the same press shots, and we're like, we can't. In the same place, there's like a garage outside and stuff, and they were really nice photos. But then the Sleep of Mods released their own press shots, and we were like, I mean, I love the Sleaford Mods, but it would have seemed like we were just going to their kind of like photo place.
Yeah.
Do you know
I've
what I
had the
mean?
same. I had the same issue. A music video that I was filming last month, and somebody sort of from the Glasgow area has just done a video. They did a similar shot, and they got out there first. And I think that, you know, even though I didn't rip off the idea because we did it before they did it, it just
Same with
feels
us,
wrong.
yeah. Same with us.
just
we
feels
haven't
wrong, doesn't it?
released it. Yeah, yeah. It's funny.
Well, here's a press photo shot here.
That's in
That's
our
good.
practice. That's in our practice room, and I should say that Merlin, the only girl, she's called Merlin. She's left now. We replaced them with my kind of old friend called Chris. So we're all a boy band now, which is lame, but that's the way it goes. But yeah, Merlin was wonderful. She was on the first record. She just left to do her own stuff. She's called Merlin Nova. It's a bit more experimental than what we do, and really brilliant. Very it's a bit like Bjork. She's an amazing singer, you know. I just felt she wasn't satisfied by our minimalism, and things were kicking off for her. So she's gone, but we're still great friends. In fact, we still have a pool club together. We play pool fairly frequently.
Well, I've just given her a wee like on the Facebook, Merlin Nova.
Yeah, man, Merlin Nova. She's wonderful. Great.
Anything Bjork likes, all good for me.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan says Beasley Street was written about the street my mother grew up in Salford. True story. Actually, when you said that you met John Cooper Clarke, that was actually a name drop. I forgot. That was a name drop. I think everyone knows.
The name drop.
You call that radio?
Yeah, we do a name drop when a big name gets shouted out with that. Is it London? Where is it you're actually based and stuff? What is it?
Well,
I'm assuming London. I don't actually know anything.
Where I live is a bit illegal, but I am in London. But I can't reveal the actual location because it's I'm not meant to live here. So.
Right. Okay. That's London. It's a bit. I've heard it's a big place. It's a bit of a big place. I've visited it a few times. It seems to be bigger than Fife.
It's bigger than
Fife's big.
Fife. Yeah, it's a bit bigger
Bigger
than
than
Fife.
Fife. A bit bigger than Fife. I have heard the London. I've heard the London. I'm sure a lot of our viewers have heard the London as well. And I think that's a good.
Don't worry if you haven't heard of it. It's not that great. I don't know why.
I think it's good to visit. It's I enjoyed going to London for a wee visit. I can't get my head around how big it is though. It's every time I think I figured it out, it just goes on forever. But it's just good.
That's going true. That's what I felt because I used to get the train and now I bike. I'm trying to bike everywhere, and it's only 5 miles. I mean that's big, but you can get the hang of it if you bike. But if you're on the train, it's impossible to get the hang of it.
Yeah, well, you don't see where you're going. It's so you can't. I think it's quite a good setup for London. The song.
Well, I moved to London. I wrote that song. That's quite an early song. We still play it because I think it's good. But I moved to Manchester after that. And then I moved back to East Anglia. I was living in the country. And now I've just moved back to London. I've only been here like 2 months. So that song about London is the last time I moved to London. But it still applies.
Has London changed in that time?
To be honest,
the world's changed. The world's changed, I suppose.
Because of the COVID stuff, it's actually got cheaper, which is great.
Well, that's because everyone's leaving London, aren't they?
Exactly,
people are working from home, and they're like, "Well, people are picking up those London wages, but living in Fife."
Yeah, on the old Zoom, like this.
Yeah.
What's my wage, Mark? How much you paying?
For where I live.
No.
I don't think that's any of your business. I don't think it's any of your business. I would bet it's cheaper than. I mean, Glasgow's cheaper than London. I think in general, that's for sure. When we went,
it's like London, half the price.
When we went to London last time, my friend was talking about how they got a good deal. Can't remember the name of the area.
Can you hear me all right? Is it still?
Yeah,
right?
I can hear you. Yeah, but it was in a place. I can't remember the name of it. But I mean, it wasn't dodgy, but it wasn't exactly fancy. And it was like 1,200 quid for a room. And they shared the kitchen with someone else that they didn't really know. And I just thought, that's
Well,
mental.
Have you seen our song Landlord?
Yes, Landlords. Would you prefer if I played Landlords? I think we've lost Thomas. We'll go for London and then we'll go for Landlords. So this is a song about London. London town. London city. By the Cool Green.
Well, I sold all of my records to move to London. I had too much scenery around me. My feet, they had an itch on. Around January 3rd, pollution limits already broken. Went round the old tower, even looked at the dungeon. Made $1 million in the city to get a drink, could just afford one. Then looked around for a flat, but it turns out they're all already taken. By ex-KGB assassins who are always on vacation. And the pigeons look at me funny, and the pavements give me a hard on. Well, now I'm living in this town. There's too many green parakeets in this town. Yes, now I'm living in this town. It costs a fortune to move around. One good thing about this city is there's no shortage of good coffee. Or you can even get a croissant with it for only $13.50. Found a cardboard box in Hackney, just $1.50 monthly. Well, I can only fit my head in it, but bollocks to the rest of me. And the music's going okay, but the guy on after, he sounds just like me. Thank God there are basically no hippies, unlike back in the country. I was riding on the Orange Line, you know, I noticed some sort of conspiracy. Well, 2 dozen Swedish faces were staring right at me, and now I'm living in this town. There's too many artisanal eyes in this town. Yes, now I'm living in this town. All the foxes tonight, they drive me insane. Well, now I'm 6 months in, I'm setting up a startup bakery. You know, we only use flour that's been puked on by a baby. But for heaven's sake, don't ask me, well, what happened to the family who used to occupy this space before my nice bread factory? Because I'm just trying to satisfy the need for exquisite toast and honey. And if you pay for it through your nose, well, we'll even give you some free toffee. I'm getting used to the air here, can feel it shaving the ears off me. But sometimes I get a sinking feeling like there's a great evil above me. So you know they're gonna price you out too. Yeah, they're coming for you. Well, let me try a look in Margate or in Glasgow. And now I'm living in this town. The chicken shops, they prop it up. Yes, now I'm living in this town. And the way we live, we couldn't make it up. Yes, now I'm living in this town. It's hard to hold on to a change, you don't want to be around. But you're living in this town. I think I better join the gym. I'm gonna stick around.
Brothers and sisters, may the peace that can only come from the one God be upon you. We are here to tell the people that we hear you. One God will not allow us as people of conscience to lose our morale.
Powered by our patrons. I should call that Radio TV. We're live with Thomas of the Cool Greenhouse. Hopefully you can hear me okay.
I think it's fucking up a little bit, but only because people are annoying me. But can you hear me all right?
I can hear you okay, but you said that you couldn't hear the music, but I could hear it fine at mine. Did everyone hear the song about London? Did everyone hear that okay?
I've heard it before. I don't know if everyone else could hear it.
Well, it's Colin Syme says he's been to London. Congratulations, Colin Syme. A
I've never
round of
been there. What's
applause.
it like?
A round of- He's an adventurous man, is Colin. Happy birthday, Colin, as well. It's actually his birthday today. So
Happy
congratulations,
birthday,
Colin.
Colin.
And Delivery reminds me of Peaches by the Stranglers. Will you take that comparison?
I do like that song, yeah. Walking
Yes,
on the
it's-
beaches, looking at the peaches.
And
Wow,
we're
wow,
talking your what I was going to ask about, because it came up in the skit there, powered by our patrons, and I've seen that you've started a Patreon as well. So could you tell us a little bit about that? Let's plug that.
Thank you very much, Mark. Yeah, I don't feel that good about it in terms of it's not the cool thing to do necessarily, but I think these bands like Sports Team and Yard Act, they must have some kind of money behind them because it's really hard work trying to fund the band. And I'm like the main guy in this band, and my bandmates, you know, they need to get paid, or they don't need to get paid. They need to like not lose money, and I need to like prevent a revolution or like a revolt, you know. And I'm worried about that. So yeah, we have set up a Patreon. I just asked for £1. And we do things like give cheap tickets to festivals. So if you want a cheap ticket to Green Man, we've got that up on there, and other demos and stuff. I think it's worth its while. But yeah, I think I'm earning about £100 a month from Patreon, and that really helps. But I think there's this weird thing where it's not cool or it's not legit, and begging for money is obviously a horrible thing.
It's
to do,
not.
but-
But it's not. That's what I thought. But
Hmm.
I changed my opinion on it. It's busking. It's busking for me.
Exactly.
completely
man.
different
I
thing.
mean, if I had money and I could make it work, obviously I wouldn't do that. But at the moment, it's quite a struggle. For example,
Patreon,
we're playing Green Man. It's one of the biggest festivals in the country. We've got quite a good slot. Blah blah blah. Guess how much we're being paid each to play Green Man?
I've no idea.
£40 each. So it doesn't even cover our petrol to get up. the
That's
fucking
that's
way.
like that's a flat in Glasgow.
That's why I need to move up north.
Yeah.
But down here, £40 not very much.
Nah. Coffee. Get you a coffee to share. A coffee to share.
Another example, at the Green Man Festival, they've got this record store, and they're like, "Hey, do you want to supply some records to the record store?" But they take 25%, and our label takes 50%. So we're left with 25% of the record sale, and divided by 5, it goes down to like 90p. So I was like, you know what? I can't be bothered. Can't be bothered to even take the records up there. 90p for a record. I mean, whatever. And then you go and try and buy some breakfast. I don't know, egg on toast. It's like 20 quid. Have you been to a festival? Fucking hell, man. So
Yeah,
I think I
I've
might
been.
just go back to. I'm just gonna go play my gig and maybe go back to my mum's house because she has eggs and toast and she doesn't charge me that much.
Well, when I used to go to festivals, I didn't eat much. But
So again,
lockdown's-
yeah, well that's the thing. Yeah, the other thing is
lockdown has
take, like,
changed
drugs
my
and eat anything.
weight and my shape.
Yeah.
So I'll be. I suppose, like a lot of the festivals that we play, we're usually busy every year with festivals, and the independent Scottish scene, it's a little bit expensive, but it's actually really good quality stuff you're getting, and it's reasonable. It's not like, we're talking about Transmit earlier on, which will probably go ahead, which is a very unfortunate name for a festival to go ahead in a pandemic. But Transmit's obviously aimed at a younger crowd, and it is a case of a shite burger and chips for a tenner or something like that. But in sort of independent festival, you probably pay about £6, £7 for a decent quality meal. So it's
Dude,
not as bad.
At Latitude, a can of Carling cost £5.50. Can you imagine that? A can of
No,
Carling.
there'd be an outrage up here at that. I think I think you get a pint at Thistley's or Williams Brothers Jokers for about £4.50. I mean, this was obviously 2019 prices I'm quoting here, but it's a good pint for about £4.50.
Well, that's not
And-
too bad. That's the same as the pub, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah,
it's
a can of Carling for £5.50.
a warm can as well.
exactly.
Probably.
Yeah, not even.
Yeah,
good
not
for it.
not worth it.
But yeah, I
And
don't want to sound like a diva. I don't like asking people for money. But at some point, it becomes kind of unsustainable to keep doing what you're doing. I'm happy to get, happy to start working, but then I have to stop doing so much cool greenhouse stuff.
Well, that's where I'm kind of at the point now where Patreon saved my life, hands down. And like someone's agreeing, it's John, it's not begging. Yeah, so basically, I see it as busking because you call that radio's free for everyone to watch and enjoy. And if you support the Patreon, then what we do is try and give away some early downloads before anyone else hears it.
Right.
Try.
The funny thing is, so when we played Latitude, there was this kid. He knew all the lyrics. I couldn't believe it, and that felt so good to me because we haven't been able to play for over a year, and we got bigger as that happened. There was this guy in Latitude at the front. He was like, there's a lot of lyrics in our band. He was just like singing all the lyrics. He must have been 18, 19. And afterwards, he wanted to get signatures from us, and we gave him a set list and stuff. And I was like, have you bought our record? He was like, no, I just listened to it on Spotify. So even the young people who love us and really have listened to the record, they haven't paid any money, which is fine. Like I'm not like having a go at him. That's fine, but it's just like a weird system, right? It's like, he hadn't bought our record. He doesn't have a record player. It's only like 45-year-old, 50-year-old men who have the record players and they buy their records. But it's really not a very viable industry at the moment. But yeah, that's the way it goes.
So the problem I've had is with the Patreon, it kind of grew from about 30 before lockdown to about 234, I think we got up to.
Well, that's amazing.
And it was amazing. And it was, it certainly was enough to at least pay rent, which is important, and eat food, which is important. And that was about it. But it's obviously not enough money to live, really. So I started doing some other work this month to try and get some more money so that I could actually live. And now the patrons, because I didn't do as many live shows, the patrons went down from 234 to 210. But I think that's down to a lot of things. It's not just the fact that we did less live shows, although I did make an album in that point and released an album, and I've been making videos. And I've also been shooting a lot of live sessions and like sort of filming bands. So there's a lot of content to come out. Just try to diversify the content a little bit as well. But I think some people were supporting this show because it was like a lifeline to the underground community. You couldn't actually meet anyone for a while. And I think now people are starting to go out, or at least staycation, which was never a word. It was never a word before lockdown. A staycation. It used to just be called going a place. But
Pingdemic. Staycation.
Pingdemic is one of those. It's one of those words. You know what I mean? Bubbles and quarantine and all that. So I think that people are now realizing, and I think a lot of people lost their jobs and were totally fucked by this. But I think a lot of people got furloughed.
Wait, I just want to clarify one thing, Mark. So I don't feel like the Cool Greenhouse should be my main income. I'm not about that. But we've got quite a lot of commitments now. I had a job too. In fact, I had 2 or 3 jobs whilst I was working through the first album. But they've all had to disappear because of the pandemic. I worked in a cafe. And that was fun. I loved it. And I also used to teach GCSEs. But then when the GCSEs got postponed, I was like a tutor kind of thing. Lost a load of money. So, I'm not averse to working. But now we got a tour in November. It's like 2 weeks. So you can't really apply for a job and be like, hey, man, I want this job, but I've actually got to take a month off like immediately. So it's a bit of a predicament. But thankfully, the dole's being good. No one's wronged me from the dole for like 2 months. So that's good.
Well, they changed the dole, didn't they? Because
I think they just got too many.
They gave everyone an extra 20 quid. And they just stopped treating people like shit as much because they realised that some of the people that were made unemployed could write letters of complaints. Like, how dare you talk to me like that? So it's interesting how that's going to change. Are they going to stay a bit sounder with people? This is the full tour schedule that we're talking about here, I believe. So you've got Hebden Bridge and the 6th.
I don't think they're all announced yet, actually, Mark. But yeah, that's good job.
But,
you know more.
Wait, it's on Songkick. So people can buy tickets for it.
Well, they should do, yeah. That doesn't mean we're being paid anything.
So wait, so I can't promote these gigs because they're not
Oh, yeah, you
announced,
can-
even though
you
they're on the
can promote
internet.
them. Yeah, promote them. Make the promoters some money.
Green Man Festival, which I've never been to, but I love the lineups that they get there, and I've heard. I think I'm pretty sure it was Steve Mason was on the show. He was saying that it was a brilliant festival. You're playing Bristol Dot to Dot Festival. I've heard good things about that.
Yeah, and Nottingham, I think. Is that Nottingham as well?
You've got Nottingham the 26th, right? Oh, so is that the same thing?
So dot
Bristol.
to dot, I think it's. I think it used to be Sheffield, Nottingham, and Bristol, and now it's just Nottingham and Bristol. So all the bands play in Nottingham, and then the next day they go down to Bristol and they play as well. Yeah.
And you're going to Holland. It looks like you've got lots in Holland,
Well,
Belgium.
oh man, the European gigs, I'd love to do them because they pay so much better than the UK gigs. But it's all up in the air. So we were meant to play Belgium like in 2 weeks, and we can't, and all that sort of stuff.
Bastards. When I say
Bastards.
bastards, I'm talking about the virus, by the way. Yeah, man, that was it.
Bastard
The first ever, we've been in a band for over 10 years, and because Brexit was coming up, we booked our first ever European tour.
I've got a negative COVID test here, Mark. If anyone wants to buy it off me for
Maybe give it, raffle it off to your page.
£2,000 for a negative COVID test. Anyway, sorry, carry on.
Well, you should raffle it off as a patron. But yeah, we had to cancel the European tour, which was gotten. And I think they can still do European tours with Brexit and stuff, but it seems like you need to fill out forms, and I've just never been a good form filler. So, it's one thing I want to do on my bucket list. Even playing to 40 people in Germany, that would be good.
Yeah, man, I really feel like I want to go on holiday or just like abroad. Yeah, but it's not happening yet, but it will happen. But in the Netherlands, if you move to the Netherlands and you're in a band that's doing stuff like we are, even if you're small, the government will give you a little bit of money to like do that, and then the gigs pay way more. It's funny because the UK is obviously historically the most famous place for rock and pop music ever, I reckon. I mean, you've got the Beatles and the Stones and all that, but they don't pay you any money. Whereas if you live in go live in Amsterdam, the government will give you a little grant every month, and then you can like treat it as professional rather than being treated like shit. To be honest,
it's almost like the Tories don't give a fuck about the music people.
It is almost like that.
It's almost like that. It's almost. I'm sure our great leader really does care about us, and he's got a plan eventually. As Jordan says, the government
that's what Song Cardboard Man is about, right? So you have these politicians. They don't give a shit. They care about engineering and science and stuff. I think science is stupid. And engineering. I mean, we've got enough bridges. You've seen one bridge, you've seen them all. But albums are more interesting than bridges. I mean, who would think a bridge is more interesting than an album? Nobody. Anyway, they don't give any money. They don't give any money to the albums, but they give money to the bridges. But then in press conferences, they're like, "Oh yeah, I love Dizzy Rascal," or like, David Cameron being like, "Oh yeah, I love dry cleaning." I don't know. It's just a joke.
They like the arts, but by the arts they do mean ballet.
But I like Nicola Sturgeon. I love Scotland, and once you guys go independent, I'm coming right up there, man. And I think there'll be more respect for the arts when that happens.
No, well, to be fair, the SNP haven't covered themselves in glory with the way that they've dealt with the music industry. Is really quite angry at the Scottish government in general. Just there's been. It's tough, innit? Because you don't know how much hands are tied because a lot of decisions go through the UK government. At the end of the day, we need the independence to find out who's a good government or not. So let's just get independence and find out, how bad our government is compared to the UK's for once and for all. Find out for sure. And if they're shite, we vote them out and we'll bring someone else in.
You're up there and you have to criticise poor Nicola, but we're down here and we have Boris Johnson.
No, like, I mean, there's no
comparison.
Like, there is no comparison, honestly, man. I don't understand how people vote for Tories. I just don't get it.
Well, that's what I don't get, and that's what made me. I felt really quite upset for about 8 days after Latitude, because Latitude's really white middle class festival, and obviously I'm white and middle class, but it didn't make me feel closer to humans. It made me feel worse, and I couldn't understand. You got people going to see the Kaiser Chiefs. Not only just one person going to see the Kaiser Chiefs. You've got like 100 or like 10,000 people going to see the Kaiser Chiefs. I can't understand it. It's the same. I can't understand anyone who votes Tory, and it makes me feel really lonely, to be honest.
Yeah, and the worst bit is that even after all there's lots of scandals. Gets caught out at the time, kills 150,000 people with some ridiculous decisions. And if you ask the general man in the street, well, not in Scotland, but if you go down to England, people say he's doing his best, like he's a child being potty trained. He's doing his best. He's giving it a go. Matt Hancock's a Grime fan. True story.
Exactly. Yeah. You're right, Patrick. It's like, they come out and they're like, "Oh, I love Dizzy Rascal." It's just, I love Skepta, Wiley. It's just, well, that's what Cardboard Man is about, partly. Yeah.
Carling is shite. Jan.
It is shite. It's shite. It's especially shite when it's £5.50.
What's happening with the cancelled Glasgow gig?
What's happening, Christine? We're gonna come to Scotland and never leave. So, but it's cancelled at the moment just because it's going to cost too much to get up there, and because you've got a different system than the English stuff. I think a lot of our gigs will be cancelled, postponed, especially the European ones. So we're meant to be doing a few European ones, but yeah, we'll come up as soon as we can, and you can come for free. I'll give you a free T-shirt.
We'll see, man. If Glasgow's back in gigs, man, we put on gigs as well. So I'll keep you in the post. Lou says, personally, I feel as if I've had more than my money's worth from my Patreon subscription. We've had nightly shows, sometimes multiple shows in days, live gigs, raffles, and pub quizzes. That's very true, Lou, and thank you for supporting the show. And everyone who supports the show, I genuinely don't know what I would have done without you guys. I agree, Lou saved my sanity. Lockdown.
Yeah, man, you're doing a great thing. It's lovely to be here, Matt.
Well, it's an honour to have you here. And what I think we're going to do just now is play the Alexa song. And I want everyone who's watching this to turn the volume up if you're watching it on, hopefully, your television.
Landlords.
But I was wanting to see if the Alexa thing makes the noise go.
I see. Okay,
we'll play Landlords. We will play Landlords. We'll finish with Landlords. But I'm just wanting to see if everyone turns their volume up to see if this song affects your Alexa. I'm just curious.
Can we ask the guys here if anyone actually has an Alexa?
Yes. Does anyone have an Alexa? If you've got Alexa, make sure it's switched on. Make sure you turn the volume up for this tune, which was released in December 20. I believe it was the Christmas number one.
It was
right?
Christmas number one, yeah.
It was the Christmas number one.
Yeah.
Narrowly defeating. What was the song that Cunt and the Gang did? Something about Boris Johnson is a fucking cunt, I believe. It was a song.
And I felt bad about that. We got a Christmas number one, and we
that was number 3, I think.
So this is it.
So turn your volume up. This is Alexa, and then we're going to come back and find out: did it work? Did it not? Hopefully, it sets off some of your Alexas.
Can I just give a shout out to the guy who did the drawings? He's called Pika.
Of course.
Pika, great artist, amazing friend, lovely guy. Did it for very little money, and it took him a long time. So, shout out to Pika. All right, let's go.
Believe our attempt at a contemporary love song. You're a hot and infinitely dense dot. Well, I nicked that line, but it's extraordinarily relevant. And I hope there are no legal repercussions. And your parents, well, they've done an excellent job. You are smart, you are humble, and you are soft. And I love it when you ordered a $200 doll's house for a random 6-year-old just because you're part of a family now, and you are so loved. Alexa, Why does everything happen so much? And what are you up to after you clock off? Alexa, please never stop listening in. Alexa, start this song from the beginning. And I love the way you laugh maniacally at me in the middle of the night for no reason. And the way you smell like polystyrene drying out on a tranquil summer's evening. Can't get enough of your dulcet tones, your terrible jokes, your love of kayaking, and the way you can care less that everything I say is painfully obvious and incredibly boring. Cause you're the kind of girl who could spend an interesting evening with a grain of salt. And the fact you decline so many marriage proposals, when that gets me pretty hot. In the beginning was the word, and you've been down since day one. Alexa, set the alarm for 3 a.m. And turn the heating all the way up. Alexa, order a copy of the Cool Greenhouse's new record. And purchase 10 tickets to all of their shows. Alexa, call Mom. Hey Cortana, set a timer for 1 minute and 16 seconds. Hey Google, play the song Alexa by the Cool Greenhouse.
I don't know that one.
And there's only one thing I like more than a stereotypically subservient female automaton. And that's a stereotypically subservient female automaton that's unbelievably crap at its job. Cause when you're asked to play girl band, you play the Shangri-Las. And when you're asked to play us, you call a greenhouse suppliers. And you show a clear preference for the white middle class. And it's a shame you won't live. But then again, who does? Alexa, open the buffet doors. And I wonder, who monitors your toilet breaks? Alexa, email my credit card details to my contacts list. And write me an undeniably clever final line. Thanks.
Brothers and sisters, may the peace that can only come from the one God be upon you. We are here to tell the people that we hear you. One God will not allow us and people of conscience to lose our morale. We see the crimes of this government, how they support every dictator and criminal on this earth. Sometimes you can feel down.
Call That Radio TV. We're live with the Cool Greenhouse. And did that work? Who the fuck's Alexa? Brilliant tune, says Claire Callahan. Up in my son's room trying out his Alexa. Alexa's talking to me. Ace, says Jan. She doesn't know that one, says Christine. Everyone hears a hum at 3 a.m. Rebecca's asking, ever consider a collab? Proper love in all of these. I would love a wee verse from you in one of my tunes. Well, I think we're going to go to Thomas just now. I think Thomas is actually reading the comments on YouTube, so that's maybe why he's disappeared just now. So, yeah, while we're waiting on Thomas coming back, I've just put a wee link in the comments in case anyone's enjoyed the show tonight. It's patreon.com/you call that radio. So you can support this show for the price of a pint or a coffee or a Glasgow flat every month. Thomas is back. How's it going, man?
Hey, buddy. I was trying to see. I wanted to see all the stuff that the people were.
The comments.
Yeah, well, you can. I left by mistake.
Yes, that's the problem with it. But you can read it back. The show will be on YouTube for posterity, so you can watch it back and you'll be able to read the live chat on the side as it happens. We're also on Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter as well. Although the less chatty on there, YouTube's the place to be. I think people have figured out that it looks better and it sounds better if you go into YouTube. So that's the one that we try and sort of promote more. But I don't know if you heard that Rebecca was saying that she wants a collab with you. She would love a verse from you in one of her tunes. Rebecca Radical's an amazing artist. You should check it out.
Oh, cool. What's Rebecca's band called?
Well, she's in various different projects, but just Rebecca Radical is probably the best place to start. So it's kind of like sort of DIY punk ethic. There's some electronic stuff.
Rebecca, you can email us at thecoolgreenhouse@gmail.com because I'll forget.
Thecoolgreenhouse@gmail.com. Send some stuff.
I'm totally up for collaborations of any kind.
Ace says, Jan, Kirsten tried out the Alexa in her son's room, and she doesn't know that one. And
is that what Alexa said?
Alexa was talking to me, and everyone hears a hum at 3 a.m. I would like that. I'd like for a few of our viewers to be woken up at 3 a.m. and you can tell us all about it on the next show.
I think it's happened to one person. One person has told me that it did work for that.
They got a 3 a.m.
Yeah, sometimes it sounds like Kirstein's is just like fucking getting confused. That happens a lot as well. So you play it and it's just confused, you know.
And you're on Spotify and stuff as well.
Oh yeah.
They pay well, don't they?
Yeah, really well.
Spotify pays fuck all, ladies and gentlemen, as you know. So if you think you're enjoying the tunes of the Cool Greenhouse, then it's £1 a month. Go and do it.
And you'll get your money back. I'll tell you that much.
You get your money back. And if anyone's enjoyed the show tonight, then for us, it's patreon.com. You call that way.
For example, every festival we're playing, we get a few free tickets, and instead of inviting our friends, we're selling them because our fee is so bad. So we sell them for cheap. So if you want to go to any of the festivals that we're playing in England or Europe, and you want to get a cheap ticket, for example, Green Man, it's sold out, and we're gonna we've got one ticket to sell. You know, that's worth it. £1 a month, and then we just
So do it. Help.
This has been a bit too much about money. Fuck money. Who cares about money? I'll be all right.
Fuck money. Fuck money.
Die.
But the last song of the night that we're about to play is about landlords, and it is about money, isn't it?
It is about money. Yeah. Is it the end of the night? Oh, I'm so sad. This was good fun.
Yeah, man. No, it's been great to chat with you, man. A big fan of your tunes. And
well, when I come up to Glasgow, I can't wait to meet Christine and I'll hang out with you. Do you know Jimmy Gage? He's a kid actually, but he looks older. He's like 21. Do you know this guy?
Jimmy Gage.
Jimmy Gage. He does the Artsy Vice show. Do you know
no, I don't think so. Name rings a bell.
He's cool.
Oh, okay, I've got 26 mutual friends with him.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, I do recognise him.
Mm.
So what does he do? What's his show?
He's a lot younger than us, but he's a sweetheart and he does loads of cool stuff.
Lou Rogerson, right, Mark, I'm going to buy you some beers for these box. That's your perk of my Patreon subscription. Just name your poison. That's very kind of you. Well, do you know what, Lou? I might not actually be able to drink that night because we're in talks. We're trying to do a gig the day after that, maybe. So I probably won't be able to drink, especially I haven't done a proper gig in 2 years, so I think I need to not have a hangover because the muscle memory's gone. Forget how to breathe. All these things are going to be a bit tricky for me. So we'll find out if I'm off. If I'm not doing anything the next day, then I hope I'm not, because I want to get on it. Because I'm going to actually give a quick plug to this before we continue. This is Jodie Ark, who everyone knows. She's plays in the Gyro Babies, the Twistettes, Minerva Wakes, and Becky Wallace, who's an amazing singer-songwriter who does loads of projects. She's been on the show loads as well. They're doing a live Q&A, exclusive content, but they're going to actually be collaborating on each other's songs. And I've heard some of the things they're working on. It's a one-off type of show. So that's on the 20th at the Icebox. And we might have a gig the night after. So I don't know 100% though. Nothing's booked yet. We only got the announcement today that gigs are back. So I'm hoping we'll be there. I want to do one gig in Glasgow before Lindisfarne because I think it'd be good to play to a home crowd before I go cross the border. But yeah, I'll get you some nice non-alcoholic free beers. Fine, I'm up. Sounds good. Love the show. Nice one, says Claire. I will pin the link for Patreon and the Cool Greenhouse Facebook fan group. Amazing stuff.
Thanks, Patrick.
Would be lovely to meet you too, says Kirstine. And yeah, so let's the album's out already. Are you working? Is there a new album to come soon?
New one's almost finished, and it's even better.
Has the girlfriend heard it yet? How does she rate it?
100%.
100%. Good stuff. Al's going to be at the Icebox gig as well on the 20th of August. Amazing stuff. So, yeah, man, we'll look forward to that. Have you got a time scale set for the new album yet?
There's a big so it's almost finished, but there's like a big backlog of all the albums that people made in lockdown, so it's taking longer than usual. So I think it's going to be out middle of next year, but you'll hear.
Is that for the vinyl? Is that for the vinyl 9-month wait or something?
Exactly, yeah. Whereas usually it's like a 3 months. But you'll hear you guys will hear some new tunes by the end of the year, probably in a couple of months. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, welcome back on the show.
Kirstine, Patrick, and I can't remember all your names, but thanks so much for doing what you do and believing in
Martin.
us.
Martin as well. Shouts to Martin.
Exactly. Martin Raitt. Yeah, he's a big deal. Graham Wiggins.
All these guys just seem to appear, man. They've got such a great taste in music, and they just do so much to support. Your own band, my band, all the bands, all the great taste in music.
Exactly. It actually couldn't exist without people like those guys. Like, it could 100%. Not exist. I mean, it doesn't work that well anyway, but it really, really, really helps. It really helps just to have those guys, putting their love in, and that's great. I mean it to death. I'm not usually 100%. Very sentimental, so.
No, it's amazing. Shouts to the supporters. The people who support local music, or if the people that live really, really far away, they support really, really far away music, they're just as important as well. And,
so good.
Yeah. God bless you all.
Once we go independent, man, I'm coming up with a gun, and we'll beat those English bastards down.
Alan's saying we'd love to hear you guys, Thomas, and obviously any Mark's projects. Love this stuff. Keep it up, guys. Well, Al, hopefully we'll see the Cool Greenhouse in Glasgow before the end of the year, and or hopefully at a Scottish festival next year. Because it looks like gigs are back. For now, we can dare to dream. Gigs are back from Monday onwards, it seems. Come play Edinburgh, says William.
I will.
He will. And we're going to finish with the song Landlords, which I think, would I be right in saying, is your favourite song at the moment? Is that right?
Yeah.
Is that your favourite song of the moment? Landlords?
Yes. It's going a bit weird, but yeah, it is. It's the best song. It's the best. It's as good as all of our other songs.
It's as good as it gets.
They're all the best.
Share the love, says Kirstine. Sorry to say I'm a Spotify wanker, but do put in what I can, guys. That's all we asked. By the way, if you're skint and you can't buy an album, just share a video of the Cool Greenhouse on your social medias. Because that also is just as important, just to help maybe one of your friends can afford the vinyl and stuff like that. So
£1 on the Patreon.
£1 on the Patreon.
Yeah.
£1 a month. And I'll just give that one last plug here. Support the Cool Greenhouse.
But thanks, Alan. Yeah, I mean, I don't care if, people just listen on the internet. That's cool as well, and it doesn't bother me.
It's fine. It's fine, but hit the share button.
Get a job. Anyone got a job going?
On a serious note, if I'm also need a job as well, so
anyone wants to give us a job?
Yeah, I'm quite unemployable in a lot of ways, but there's things I can do. There's things I'm all right at.
Well, so, I'm really employable, man. I'm really employable. I could shine your shoes, drive your bus. I don't know, fix your radiator. I can do all that stuff. Yeah, give me a bell.
Jordan says I would have finished with I'm into CB. Well, do you know, I think Tam the Van was here earlier on in the comments as well. He's a massive Fall fan as well. But we've already decided we're finishing with Landlords. Also, we're probably less likely to go run into copyright issues by playing cover versions.
I
No,
mean,
I listen-
Landlords has a video, so the other one.
And
doesn't
Landlords
have
has a video as
Yeah.
well. So yeah, we'll finish with the Landlords. But we should give a shout out to Marky Smith. We had Graham Duff on the show recently, who just released a book that he wrote with Marky Smith, a horror flick.
I've
called
got it.
Pennywise.
It's really good. Yeah, I'm reading it at the moment. The screenplay.
Yeah, screenplay.
Yeah,
And hopefully it will be made into. What's your favourite Fall album?
I think Grotesque is probably my favourite.
Excellent. I've been listening to the Fall for ages, but I struggled to keep up with the discography, if you know what I mean.
Well,
Because
Grotesque
we,
is like their third album, I think.
yeah. Well, Tam the Van was our driver when we were going to all the gigs, and we got compared to the Fall a lot. Mainly because we went through so many band members. I was a bit.
I think anyone who's seen this interview will know that I'm not very like Marky Smith, you know. But obviously, it's an inspiration. But I hope that the Cool Greenhouse is a contribution to that kind of world, but different. Yeah.
Absolutely, man. I think that I really enjoy your lyrics, and also I was wondering. Actually, I'd like to ask that question before you go about the writing process briefly, because obviously I tend to write in a kind of a style of making things rhyme, and I have a couple of times wrote songs or poems where I try and just avoid that and just try and write just free flowing ideas, and I find it quite difficult. Is it just come naturally? Is it more natural to you to avoid that? You know, because it just I love it. I love what you're doing, but it's unique in the way that, in the sense, it's very different from what I do, because I just write from a different point of view. So how is the process? Are you making the bass line first and then just writing over it, or how does it happen?
Well, it's funny. I remember someone tweeted like, "I'm done with choruses." Some band, I think it was Feet. They were like, I'm done with choruses." And then someone else tweeted, "Who do you think you are, the Cool Greenhouse?" But actually, we do have choruses, and there is quite a lot of rhyming. So even though maybe like the overall impression is that we have no choruses and we don't rhyme, and there are lots of bits.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. No, sorry, I'll rephrase that. It's not so much that you don't rhyme. It was just more like there. It seems like it's almost like I don't want to sound wanky, but it's almost like a free flowing jazz style of lyrics rather than being a slave to the rhythm. If that makes sense.
Yeah. I think I'm lucky in lyrically. I have quite a natural rhythmic kind of sense. I think Marky Smith certainly did. You know, even if he's not rhyming, the way he intonates is very rhythmical, and that's why it's like really striking. But how do I write? I don't know. Unfortunately, you've got to like make yourself really unhappy. I think that's the way. You make yourself really unhappy, and then you can write a good song. But whenever I'm happy, I can't write a good song. So you just got to like punish yourself a lot, and then when you feel like you want to kill yourself, you might write a good song.
Claire loves your lyrics.
Thank you.
And Jordan said, bold question, asking a Fall fan what his favourite album is. It is well, that's what you call that. Radio is here to ask the bold questions. Excellent show. We'll definitely keep my eye out for when you guys are in Glasgow. I've got weed.
We'll
I need
be
to
up in
shift.
Scotland. We might be neglecting Scotland this year, but you know we're going to be all over Scotland. So.
Well, it's quite hard to book a gig in Glasgow because gigs have been illegal up until now. But it looks like Monday we're back, so it's exciting. Hopefully there'll be some sort of live music this month that we can all get together. I'm looking forward to seeing everyone in the real world.
Wait,
after being
just
stuck
one
in.
more thing, Mark. If I want to see the
Yes.
comments, because I haven't been able to see the comments of people. How do I go and look at them?
Just
Yeah, I haven't been able-
watch that YouTube link, just to show. You'll see it on the
okay.
right hand side. There'll be a little live chat thing. It might not work instantly. It might take a couple of minutes to appear. But once it's published,
Once it's finished,
it'll do. But you can watch this show back as soon as it's finished, and it should just be on the live chat side. And we're also on Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter. I'll send you the links, man. I'll send you the link so you can have a wee look.
Cool, man.
Right,
Yeah,
who's-
well, that's it
who's-
again. This is really fun. You know, I didn't have.
Yeah,
anything
man,
else.
it's been a pleasure speaking to you. Love your tunes,
I'll see you.
and
I'll see you. in the
hopefully you
flesh.
get
I'll
those
see you all in the
European.
flesh.
Good
Lots of
stuff,
love to
mate.
everybody. All right.
Last question: What tobacco are you smoking? Because I'm on the rollies as well.
I usually smoke gold leaf because it's the cheapest, but I just our local tramp just hit me up on this newsagent that sells 50 grams of amber leaf for £9, which
Well,
is
that's a
like
great deal.
less than half price. So that, I'm on the amber.
I'm
leaf.
on the Amber Leaf as well.
Great.
Big ups. This show is sponsored by Amber Leaf, and this song is called Landlords.
Yeah.
Go and check out the Cool Greenhouse. Nice to meet you, mate. All the best. Bye.
Well, there goes your new landlord. His dog is bull, his car is sports. And don't you know that your labour paid for his new personalised number plates? They mean kill all scroungers if you squint your eyes. Oh, the S's are 5, the G's are 9. He says, don't you know you should feel lucky to be alive? Don't you know you should feel lucky to be alive? But who cares that the room that you're renting is a total dive? Or just look outside. You know, the streets are even more deprived. So be thankful for your hard-earned bed. Oh, it's no matter that I've got 10. And therefore poster, it costs 200 quid to get on the contract. Well, imagine that. Oh, you couldn't make this stuff up. And then a few months later, when you discover some dry rot, he says, refer it to the council. He says, I'm sorry, but my hands are completely tied. You got to refer it to the council. Welcome to Generation Rents. And here's to the gradual erosion of our collective expectations with the hands of crooked landlords who are complete morons. Well, the walls are cracked, the room is small, there's a strange smell of fish in the corridor. And when you decide that it's time for bed, will the train still rattle past your head? And when the room fills up with mice, well, you'd think that he could at least be nice, but instead he calls you a filthy swine, and after avoiding a call for the 50th time, he says, I'm sorry, but my hands are completely tied. You got to refer it to the council. So you refer it to the council, and they keep you on hold for 3 days. The hold music is Eric Satie's Gymnopedies. It almost drives you completely insane. But eventually a chimpanzee picks up the phone. I mean a real chimpanzee. You know, I'm no snob. He says, why don't you get a real bloody job? Huh? Well, just take a look at me. You know, I used to sit around a London Zoo. I got a pretty good job answering phones for the council. Saving up for a nice semi-detached in Hounslow. He said, I'm sorry, but my hands are completely tied. Got to refer it to your landlord.
Yeah, no respect in the aspect to the man like Mark. They love what the man talk on the radio. In case you never know. You call that radio, call that the radio, you call that radio, call that the radio. Come and say, in the my name, I'll just go with the flow. In the my name, I'll just go with the flow. So till you miss a mark, now go bend down low. Till you miss a mark, now go bend down low. Boom. Lot of mercy. Yo. You call that radio. You call that radio.
You call that radio. Live with the Cool Greenhouse there. Amazing band. Go and support them. I'm actually going to play one more song for Tam the Van, because I wanted to hear what he makes. He's a big Fall fan. So let's finish somebody else wanted it. I think Jordan maybe asked for it. I'm into CB. And also, I've just changed the audio to stereo. So hopefully this will make the sound better. So apologies if the sound wasn't its best. I've been doing a bit of recording today, so I maybe messed about with the settings. But hopefully this will sound a bit bigger and better. Let me know if this improves the sound just for going forward. I think we may have a show tomorrow and the next day, so I want to know if this fixes the sound. Check out the Cool Greenhouse. Thank you to everyone supporting us. You should call that radio. Cool Greenhouse.
Well, I've never had a car. I've never been near a lorry. I got a nasty habit of scratching my nose. My code name's Happy Harry, and I'm into CB. Had loads of jobs for very minute lolly creation schemes, so I suppose I was lucky. Oh, and the money it took to buy a CB set, it took lines off my belly. My code name's Cedar Plank, and I'm into CB. I'm just into CB. At 16 I drank cheap sherry, got plastered in the stations and swing parks. Off my mother I stole some money, and had a treat with a bottle of martini. So sick I couldn't walk or sit, since then I've not touched it. I won't bore you with tales of being greedy, I'm just into CB. Just into CB. My family's a weird lot. My stepsister's got a horrible growth. Listens to all this music shit. We'd smash hits while she's eating her tea. To me it sounds like bad CB. My father, he's not bad really. He got me all these wires and bits. Apart from that, he talks to me hardly. I'm just into CB. Just into CB. And this is Happy Harry Plank, calling from the land of waving palms, calling out to Cedar Plank 477CC. And there's no code 13 in the home of the chocolate city. I'm having trouble with the terminology, but I'm into CB. Yes, I'm into CB. And I've got this letter before me. It's buff with a confidential seal. I'd better open it. Oh, it's a fine and a formal threat. I should have listened to A New Face in Hell. The date it expired last week. Up here I forget what time it is. It says you're gonna go when you go, or else you're for it, boy. That's what you get for having a hobby. Next mail you get will be mail in jail. That's what you get for having a hobby. Next year, mail in jail. That's what you get for having a hobby. Next time I'm out, I'll join a riot. That's the last you'll hear of me. I'll keep clear of CB. I'll keep clear of CB. And R.I.P. Smithy. Yes, rest in peace. I'm sorry you never got to hear of me. Sorry we never got to share a whiskey. Well, stop saying you're not appreciated. You know you are and you always will be. So rest in peace.
Your call is very important. Please hold.